Hello everyone, here is Peng Eye on Europe, talks on psychology. Today I will give you a brief idea of the parent-adult-child concept for the PAC communication model in transactional analysis. PAC communication model is based on the transactional analysis theory stated in the book of Games People Play, published in 1964, written by Eric Peng, who was a Canadian-born psychiatrist. In the 1950s, Eric Peng began to develop his theory of transactional analysis. He said to the effect that verbal communication, particularly face-to-face, is of central importance in human social relationships and psychoanalysis. He argued that when two people encounter each other, one of them will take initiative to speak to the other. He called this act transaction stimulus, and he called the reaction from the other person transaction response. The person sending stimulus is called the agent, while the person who responds is called respondent. Transactional analysis is used in examining interpersonal communications based on the idea of I do something to you and you do something in return. Peng also said that every person is made up of three alternative ego states, namely parent, adult, and child. Parent. This is our ingrained voice of authority. As we grew up through early childhood, we were conditioned by our real parents, teachers, and older people around us. They exercised influences upon us. Those influences are typically embodied in phrases starting with you must, you should, never forget, and so on. Our brains store these memories, and later we often express them in critical comments and condescending behaviors. Parent can be considered our values in life taught by society. Adult. This is the ego state which orients us toward an objective, autonomous, data processing, and probability estimating way of viewing things. The condition of adult in us is not related to our age, but to our ability to think and act for ourselves. It is through adult behaviors that we keep our parent and child behaviors under control. Adult can be considered the reason which makes us act like well-behaved personalities in social interaction. Child. This is the ego state, which is an archaic relic from the early significant period of life. This consists of residues of all our emotional responses and natural impulses in early childhood experiences and behaviors. This part of our psyche shows itself typically in words such as I want and I don't care, and so on. Child falls into two categories. The adapted child is influenced by parental parameters, whereas the expressive child is more autonomous. Child can be considered our felt aspect of life experience. There are three types of relation between agent and respondent. The first relation type is parallel, such as parent to parent, adult to adult, and child to child. In this relationship, there is no communication problem due to the equal psychological status of the two interlocutors. For example, when A1 asks, "Do you need help?" A2 answers, "No thanks." The second relation type is complementary. In this relationship, although the ego states of the two parties are not equal, the self-evaluation of the respondent is in agreement with the identity defined by the agent, or vice versa. This will also result in functional transaction. For example, when P said, "McDonald's is not good enough, let's go somewhere else," and C answered, "Okay, no big deal." Both sides are satisfied. The third relation type is incompatible. In this relationship, there is a conflict between the identity defined by the agent and the self-evaluation of the respondent, or vice versa. In this case, the communication will definitively be interrupted. For example, if a speaker regarding himself as parents said to the listener who looked upon himself also as parents or adults, "Your painting is not even as good as that of an amateur," the other would think, "Who are you? You should do it yourself." What could we learn from this communication model? If you expected an effective communication, A to A is the best choice. If you are loaded with too much parent ego state, please observe your interlocutor carefully. If he or she is not in the psychological state of child, please adjust yourself as quick as possible. Most often, we find 3 relationship cases in our daily social life. The first case is the couple relation. The couple tends to treat each other with intimacy. They may be patient or impatient. Patience leads to favorable communications and harmony, whereas impatience results in quarrels and even end of the union. The second case is the tie between parents and their children. Parents do have some authority, but nowadays, equality between parents and children is emphasized. So please put down your air of superiority when you talk with your children. If you can use A to A model, I'm sure you can surprise your child and get a pleasant reaction. The third case is association between colleagues. If you were not a boss, but fond of giving orders to others, you are likely to repel them. On the other hand, if you are a boss, but treat your employees on an equal footing, you will be popular among them. That ends today's program. Your critical response are welcome. Thank you.